Hi, it's Christina with your virtual book club video for this week. We are on week 2 of, I love this book, Fail Until You Don't, Fight, Grind, Repeat, which is by Bobby Bones. Show it again. I love this book. So this week we read part 1, which is Fight. If you have not read the book at all, or you're just not quite as far as I am, that's okay, no big deal. A good suggestion that I have that I think I've made a couple of times is always keep your book with you. When you do that, instead of opening your phone, when you mindlessly scroll through your social media apps or anything, which I love social media, don't get me wrong. You can read your book, like if you're in a waiting room or like I'm kind of mad at myself because I kind of say that I always keep my book with me, but I didn't bring it with me. When I went and hung out with my daughter, I thought we were going to play dominoes and she ended up wanting to play at the playground. I should have brought my book with me. So I do try to remember to keep mine with me for that reason. So I'm starting to notice a trend in the motivational books that I actually super enjoy. I always get something out of all of them, but they're ones that I really enjoy. And the two things that I've noticed is one, when they're super vulnerable and honest with their storytelling, I think it's great. And the other thing is they'll have some type of mantra or saying or something that really helps them remember what matters to them or gets them motivated, gets them going, whatever the case may be. So I really enjoy that. So from what you can tell with what we're reading, which is this Bobby Bones book, his thing or his mantra, saying whatever you want to call it, is fight, grind, repeat. So in part 1, we read about fight. And at the beginning of that, he used his boxing class as an analogy, which I love analogies and I love stories, to explain his idea of fight. So to him, it's not about negativity. It's not about beating somebody up. To him, boxing and fighting is all about being prepared and setting yourself up for success. And, not just being prepared for the good stuff, but mostly, being prepared to take those hits that life gives us. So that's kind of what he goes on to talk about. A couple other big things that are talked about in this part of the book that I liked is putting your ego aside and surrounding yourself with people that are better than you. And I don't mean better like, oh, everybody's, like amazing or whatever. Just somebody that challenges you to be a better person, I guess is the best way to put it. There are some people that surround themselves with people to make them feel bigger and better, and that's really very ego based, and I have a humongous ego, so I know lots about ego, but I do definitely try to surround myself with people that I want to aspire to be like, or that challenge me to be a better person. So I think that's really important. Figuring out what's really important to you is another thing he talks about. He says he tries a lot of different things, and I'm a lot like that too. So I try a lot of different things. And if they don't quite, connect, it's okay. You tried. And I'm not saying, oh, I tried and it's too hard. I'm saying if it doesn't quite connect with what you're doing, like it's okay to move on to something else. Like you don't want to keep, doing something that doesn't matter to you. So figuring out what really matters to you is important. And then one of my favorite ones is the importance of finding that person that will tell you when you suck. So the reason why I like this is because I get picked on so much for being such a negative person. I'm always like picking on things about myself. And typically when I do it, like I'm like, yeah, I suck at this or whatever the case may be. But really I'm just trying to talk it out so I can find solutions to it. I'm a big time problem solver. And when I find a problem, like I want to solve it, and mostly problems are negative. I mean, I don't think I've ever found a problem that's not negative. So I tend to focus on those. So not only for me do I need to find the people that are okay with telling me that I suck sometimes so I can improve, but also the people that are okay with me saying that I suck. So that was really something that I connected with. I love having things in common with authors of books. So some of the things I really connected with in this chapter was he talks about that what he dreads more than failing or bombing really big time, like what he says in here, is not taking the shot. And I get picked on for so many of my decisions that I've made. I've made lots of bad decisions. I've made decisions that I thought were good and they just didn't turn out the way I wanted them to. But I fully understand what Bobby Bones is saying in this book, because I would much rather fail. I would much rather make a bad decision than not do something. Like, I hate having regrets. It is the biggest thing for me. I hate it. I have done so many things that people thought were absolutely crazy. And I'm talking about, like, small things, big things, whatever the case may be. I'll tell somebody that I love them, even though I know they don't love me back, or whatever the case may be, just because I want to do my thing. I don't want to have any regrets. So that's just a quick example of something silly that I could use, that I've been picked on for. Also, he talks about how he's an acquired taste. I think I'm an acquired taste, and for the longest time, I've always tried to fit in. And it's taken me a really long time, many years, to be okay with that I'm an acquired taste, and to be more myself and embrace that side of myself. And then the last thing that I'm going to talk about that I really connected with is he talks about not letting others that really don't know your story or know anything about you, take apart what you've done, or what you've accomplished, or whatever the case may be. Giving a say to folks is a big deal when you allow people to weigh in on your life. And I'll let people weigh in, which is fine, but to actually internalize it is different to me. And it's taken me a while to understand that I don't have to listen to what people say to me. And even sometimes if they get mad at me for not listening, I have a voice, and I can tell them, no, this is not what I'm going to do. And sometimes they don't know enough about you to even weigh in. And that's one of the things he was talking about is, strangers or people that barely know you. There are a lot of people that think they know me because, I share a lot of personal information out on social media, and I talk about my stories in classes. But I tell people I'm like an iceberg. You're going to get a lot of information about me, which is above the surface to me. You might think it's super personal to me. I don't care. There's things below the surface, definitely, that folks don't know about. And, if you don't know the full story, how can you really weigh in on my life? Love people's opinions, no problem, but I'm not always going to take it. So once again, we're reading Fail Until You Don't, Fight, Grind, Repeat by Bobby Bones. And I'm really enjoying doing this virtual book club. It keeps me growing. I hope it's keeping everybody else growing. I know my videos are getting a little bit longer and longer. I apologize for that, but I just have so much to say, and I want to share with everybody. And please, in the comments, tell me what you think about the book if you're reading it with us. It's not too late to get started. We'll have another one in a couple of weeks. If you want to wait, that's fine. But thanks for joining me and watching my video.